Hi everybody, it's Brad here, and thanks for taking the time to check out this video today. This is a new video series that I'm starting, and it's about a trip that Lori and I are planning to take to Tuscany in May of 2023, and we've invited some of our very best friends to join us on the trip, and amazingly, we already have confirmations that 6 other couples are going to be joining us on this trip. So our plan is to meet up for 7 days and 6 nights at a little boutique hotel in Tuscany called La Moscadella. It's located in the Tuscan countryside, and this is where we'll be immersed in rural Italian culture, history, cuisine, and of course, sure there's going to be a little bit of wine tasting going on while we're there. So the purpose of this video series is to learn a little bit about the region that we're traveling to well before we actually leave. It'll help us plan out our activities and to build up some excitement with the guests who will be joining us. So welcome to the Bronze Medal Plates Tuscany Edition. There are 2 things that inspired me about planning this trip. First, it's been almost 1 year since I had major surgery to remove my prostate cancer. The surgery went really well and the recovery is going fine, but it did change my perspective about a few things, including how I live my life. And it made me realize that the best moments of my life come from those shared experiences that I have with family and friends. Whether it was as simple as breaking bread, going to a restaurant, or grabbing a cup of coffee, or maybe celebrating a family milestone or going on a trip. So I wanted to be more intentional about planning some of these shared experiences. Secondly, my good buddy Mark invited me to take a class with him about wines back in the fall of 2021, where we both earned our level 2 in wines through the Wine and Spirit Education Trust, or WSET as it's known throughout the world. So those 2 experiences combined inspired me to plan this trip. So today we're going to talk about what else but Italian wines. We thought that that would be a great way to kick off this video series, and to help me do that, I have invited my good friend Mark Mescamin to join us, and he's going to lead us through this wine tasting. Welcome, Mark.
Buongiorno.
Monaco, welcome. Hey,
just flew in this morning.
So, Mark, I can never remember. Are you my oldest friend?
I think it's longest friend, but let's go with oldest.
So by longest, you mean like we've known each other the longest period of time?
Of course.
Right.
What else would you be thinking, Brad?
So actually, can you believe it? But it's actually been at least 50 years. I think this past year it's been 50 years.
50 years we've been friends.
That's how long we've been friends. Isn't that amazing? Anyway.
That's crazy.
So I was mentioning earlier that Mark invited me last fall to join him in a wine tasting class. It was a 3-day, pretty intensive class. We tasted like 48 wines, and we both achieved our WSET level 2 in wines, which is world recognized. And so today we're unveiling our official pins. So congratulations, Mr. Distinction, Mr. Merit.
You missed it by a little bit.
Yeah, I missed it. Well, a little bit. And by the way, Mark and his lovely wife, Susie, are going to join us on the trip.
It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, and we're really looking forward to it. So glad you could make it. Where we're staying at La Moscadella is right in the heart of Chianti country.
Oh, Italian. Today's going to be the Italian wine?
Well, yeah, I thought we'd do Italian wine tasting since we're going to Italy. That's what this is all about.
As you remember, my dad was quite the connoisseur of wine.
You could say that.
Yeah.
At least he liked it.
He loved wine.
I would say he loved wine.
And he loved Italian wine. In fact, I just happened to bring his favorite Italian wine.
Oh, yeah,
today.
Let's see it.
So maybe we could be tasting this one today.
Oh.
It's a Donini.
Right.
I just got it down at the superstore today.
Right. What's the vintage on it? Tell us a little bit about it.
Probably last week. $15 for 2 liters.
Anyway.
Thank you, Pat. You got me into wine, but I'm not going to drink this today.
Love you, Pat. My dad actually, I think, drank a lot of Donini with your dad as well over the years.
Yes, I think that's definitely true.
So we've got a couple of examples of some wines, some good wines from the Chianti region. And thought, why don't we talk about that? And then Mark and I are going to lead you through some wine tasting. So I don't know how much you know about these two, but since, you're basically a master of the level 2.
Oh, yes. With distinction.
Let's talk a little bit about wines here, and these two in particular.
Absolutely. They're red.
Yeah, Mark.
This is where you're going to cut, right?
Yeah, no. We're still rolling. Yeah, Mark and Brad comedy show.
Oh, yeah. This is a live roll. This is actually going on YouTube direct.
That is, yeah.
Okay,
well,
good.
Yeah, after I edit. Yeah. This is a Tignanello. So this is, it's a Chianti. And you can drink that with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
And ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
And it comes from...
no human livers, though.
Yeah, right.
No.
And it comes from the Antinori vineyard, which is a pretty well established and pretty well known. Great wine. I've heard great things about it. This is a little bit more on the expensive side. You can get it at Costco. I think it's about $100, $110. But they also have another really great intro into the Chianti wines for about $20 or $22. And it's just Villa Antinori. And love that one. It's a great table wine.
Oh, I buy that by the caseload. It's wonderful stuff.
That's right. Step up from Donini. A little bit. Anyway, if you buy enough, you might be able to get it down to that $15 price point.
That's true.
And so this other one here is Castelgiacondo, and it's a Brunello Monticello. So Brunello...
That's going to be where we're going.
Yeah. So it's in fact, this particular vineyard is about an hour or less away from where we're staying at La Moscadella. And actually, I hope to get there. So that's the one I think that we should taste today.
Let's do it.
Okay, a little bit about it. So Brunello di Montalcino is made from what kind of a grape?
Oh, it's Chianti.
But what kind of grape?
Oh, Sangiovese.
Sangiovese, that's correct. Mr. Distinction. Yeah.
You're going to be putting me on the spot because I'm a distinction.
Absolutely. Damn right I am. Castelgiacondo, so that is the part of Chianti and the part of Tuscany where this is made and where the grapes are grown. Brunello is another term for Sangiovese. So that's what people in this area and of the Montalcino, which is also a city in Tuscany, refer to as, that's what they call the Sangiovese grape. So Brunello di Montalcino is basically the varietal Sangiovese from the area around Montalcino.
I always like to take the foil off first. So we kind of scoot it in just at the lip. Right, and we pull across, get that foil off, really nice. Ooh, popped off just nice like that. You should be able to do this with one hand if you're a proper server. I'm not. I'm going to try. Imagine you're sitting in front of somebody at a table. You need to be able to do this, right? It's not that hard. Some people get a bit nervous sometimes thinking it's going to slip out of their hands or something. Don't worry about it. The cork's in there real good. The screw's in the cork. Look at that. Just like that.
Yeah, that was a nice little pop.
Never sniff the cork. Cork doesn't smell very good, but you always want to check it for moisture. This is a nice wet one. Looks good. I don't see any problems with that one. There's no buildup or mold or anything like that. But again, my preference, don't sniff the cork because you're going to smell cork, not the wine. So, good. We're done. Let it air for a little bit, and then we'll pour it out and have a little sip.
Now we've let that sit out for a little bit and aired a little bit. Now you can use a decanter, right, Mark?
You can, yeah. That's perfectly fine. Also, I like to sometimes use those Venturi things you put in the top, adds in the air as it goes through.
Right.
So if you don't have a lot of patience and you don't happen to have a decanter, that's a nice little way to do it as well.
Okay, so why don't you lead us through the proper tasting method?
Okay, well let's get going.
I'll get this out of the way.
You should always have a nice clean glass. And Brad and Lori have fantastically clean glasses, so that's really good. I'm going to pour in just a little bit for the tasting process. So this is normally my pour. My pour is pretty heavy. My house.
Right.
Right away, you're going to see something about this wine. First thing you're going to see is the color. So you swirl it around a little bit. Look at the legs. You need something white in the background, so thanks, Brad, for bringing that paper. You're going to kind of tip it on the side a little bit, take a look, and just look at the color of this wine, right? So, what do you see, Brad, when you look at this one? A little bit of
ruby red.
Ruby red, maybe some brownish tinges on the outside.
Yeah,
as well.
on the edges. So that's a sign of aging, I think.
Sign of aging, yeah. So you're going to see that a lot of these wines from Tuscany, especially the good ones, are going to
getting ahead of myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're going to be in the barrel for quite a while, just to kind of take out some of those impurities, and that gives it that little bit of a brown hint, right? So the other thing too, Brad, you notice that this is a fairly light color as well. It's not really deep. You can actually see through it. You can see the other side of the glass, right?
I'd say it's about a medium.
Yeah, absolutely. So
medium intensity is what we're talking about when we're talking about the colors.
Exactly. So you're not going to get like a dark, inky look like you would with like a California Cab or something like that. And it's not going to be as light as like a Pinot. Chianti is always kind of right in the middle, right? So this is, again, very reminiscent of that style of grape.
Right. So I noticed that, often people talk about the legs, but that's a little bit of a sign of the amount of alcohol in there.
Yeah, so this one looks like it might have a little bit of like a medium to medium high potentially.
Yeah, it's actually about a 14.5%, right? Which is
high then.
pretty high. And so I'm expecting this is going to be a pretty good wine.
All right. So next thing we're going to do, Brad, is we're going to smell the wine.
Okay.
Right. So if we were professionally tasting this, we would do something, we would swirl around like this and hold it down here, take a little sniff and see if we can smell something.
I can smell the cheese on the platter in front of us, actually. So
it should be polluting the environment like that.
The rats.
Nice cologne. Yeah, so I'm getting a little bit of there, hey? Some cherries, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Blackberry potentially.
Yeah,
right?
some dark fruits, but
and because we can smell it down here, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Right? If we had to stick our nose at it just to get anything out of it, then that's a pretty light intensity. But down here, I would say that's a pretty full intensity. Right? So again, keep swirling it, bring it up closer, see if anything changes as it gets through. And finally, just give a good snort. Oh, yeah. That's lovely stuff, huh?
It's actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
So 2015. It's a 2015. I don't even know if you can find these anymore. I got lucky. Found this. Actually, I can't remember where I found it. It was one of the local wine stores here. So if you wanted to taste along, come back, watch the video again, and taste along with this. Just head out to your local specialty wine store, and I'm sure that they'll be able to find something. The 2017s are out now. What it says in the tasting notes is it should, once I put it in the bottle, it should age about 5 years. So the 2017s is 2022 now, so the 2017s are just out now.
Time to go.
Yeah, so this one is probably, I think, at its peak.
Beautiful. Yeah. We get to enjoy it today on a beautiful sunny day, too.
So now what?
Now we get to taste.
Well, don't we do this?
Oh, we could.
All right. Cheers. Cheers, brother.
Okay, so when we taste, we can drink. I often don't let it go to waste.
Yeah.
But when we drink in the wine, we're going to actually add in some air.
Right.
So you often see that people, it looks like they're gurgling or something like that. But you're just pulling in a little bit of air as you drink in the wine. What that does is it provides more aeration, gets all the beautiful flavors to come out of the wine so that you taste everything in your mouth.
Right.
Okay? Oh, yeah. So you got that drying effect.
Yeah, very dry.
And then you feel the tongue. It feels like there's saliva squirting out of it.
Yeah.
That's the acidity.
Yeah.
Right. So that's pretty obvious. This is a very acidic wine as well. Perfect for those fatty foods like steaks, burgers, anything like that. Right.
Right.
This would be a perfect wine for that. What are you getting when you first taste it there, Brad? I'm getting maybe some raspberries and blackberries.
Raspberries, blackberries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's pretty earthy. I'd say it's a pretty well-balanced wine.
Beautiful. Yeah. The length, the intensity, just everything about this wine. This makes me say this is a fantastic wine. This would be an outstanding wine in the WSET world.
Castelgiacondo Brunello di Montalcino from Tuscany in Italy. Thanks for coming out today, Mark.
My pleasure.
Okay, let's finish this wine.
No wine goes unfinished in this house.
That's right. Okay, everybody. Hope you're able to follow along and practice, because something tells me there's going to be a little bit of wine drinking when we get to Tuscany.
Yeah, and everybody will have a different experience. So please try this out and let us know what you thought the wine tasted like.
And let's do a cheers all the way to the camera. Cheers.
Cheers.